Well, I think we have a good time with it. I'm in the kitchen, she's in the weaving area, so we don't get in one another's way. There's some competitiveness to it, but I'm always going to get more ribbons than her.
I just have to live with that. Now, if they put more categories in the weaving category, I would be fine. I could enter more things.
With 10 weaving categories and 2 opportunities in the fine arts competition, Deborah usually has about 11 entries. Rod, on the other hand, enters some 150 items in the various canning categories. So many that their dining room has become a pantry. What's your wife think of your pantry in the dining room?
She loves it.
We've compromised on our utilization of space, I guess.
While the couple can poke fun at each other's hobby, preparing their entries for the fair is serious business for both of them.
Today I'm going to be making spiced apple rings. So I'm going to start out by measuring out the vinegar and water and sugar and add my red hots. So got to be careful with the red hots because they sort of stick on the bottom. So my recipe calls for 2 sticks of cinnamon, so I'll do that, and then I have 3 tablespoons of cloves. Just drop my bag in here, it's gonna float, so don't worry about that. This will really make it red. I've purchased Pink Lady apples. I like them because they're firm and they're very uniform, as you can see, which is good for my purposes because then each slice is going to be more uniform. I peel them after I've cut them because they peel much quicker.
Rod follows very specific cooking directions. The devil is in the details for not just Rod's work in the kitchen, but for Deborah's work in the adjacent family room. She has fair entry projects on all 3 of her looms. On this loom is a rug project.
This is a basic 4-harness loom. So with a loom like this, it works by having the yarn come from the back through a harness or a set of harnesses that lift the yarn in individual groups. There are treadles underneath that lift the harnesses in different orders. And as the harnesses get lifted differentially, it'll lift different groups of yarn, and that's what will end up making the pattern.
Are you happy with this pattern, the way it's turning out?
I'm happy with my colors, I'm happy with the geometric design, but when I designed this on the computer, I didn't see the little black lines that are happening in it, and because they're not symmetrical, I'm not very happy with those black lines. So I actually may rethread this loom and change it to make it perfect for the fair.
Deborah's insistence on perfection has resulted in the accumulation of many, many state fair ribbons. Her entries have included wall hangings, rugs, afghans, scarves, and clothing sewn from fabric she weaves.
I think the judges' comments have helped me do a better job of being competitive. When I get comments from the judges at the state fair, I can utilize those to improve in all areas of my weaving.
While Deborah loves weaving, it was a hobby she hadn't considered until she and her husband expanded the size of their family room.
The kids wanted to put a pool table in, but when we measured it, it was too small for a pool table with the, end space that you need. Rod decided that maybe we should buy a loom. He didn't ask me about this at first.
Well, I thought it would be fun to do that. It was more complicated than I wanted to deal with. Cooking's easier.
He can make something in an hour sometimes, where it might take me 40 hours or 100 hours if I'm making a complicated garment, let's say.
No matter the hours at the loom or at the stove, the Zittlers say it's worth it for the fair, even if they must live with a few issues they have about each other's hobby.
There are a few situations where I tend to move far away in the house when there's a lot of vinegar smell and so on.
She doesn't like the smell of cooked beets either.
No, I don't. I may have to leave the house for that.
Well, at least weaving doesn't smell.
No, it doesn't. No, so it's sometimes a little noisy.
See how Deborah and Ron Zittler fare in their respective competitions by continuing to watch Iowa Public Television's coverage of fair highlights.
I think that's a classic.
Is that going to win?
I think it might.